There's a reason for every breakup. Sometimes it doesn't make sense in the moment, but usually over time you realize you're both better off on your own, that you were never meant to be. But every so often, a breakup needs to happen for a couple that does belong together, and there's one perfect example of it that played out on our screens just a few decades ago. This year marks 20 years since the iconic How I Met Your Mother entered the sitcom universe. The show, which ran on CBS from 2005 to 2014, used a time-bending narrative structure to present the lives of 5 friends navigating love, friendship, careers, and dating in New York City. While the series revolves around main character Ted Mosby and all of his antics and struggles while dating, there's one couple he always looks up to as the model for the perfect relationship. His best friends, Marshall and Lily, who have been dating since they were 18 and get engaged in the first episode of the show. But crucially, Marshall and Lily have one major difference that undertows their relationship. See, Marshall has a dream to be an environmental lawyer. While he's still in law school that first season, he's working towards that dream. But Lily also has a dream, and that dream is to be an artist, except she's a kindergarten teacher, and trying to pursue art full-time while financially supporting her soon-to-be husband who's still in law school seems impossible. So what happened? Well, Lily applied to an art school to see if she could get a scholarship. But when she tells Marshall, he gets offended and sees it as an attack on their relationship. So a breakup happens, and with it comes Lily leaving to see if maybe she could seriously pursue her dream. Only a few episodes later, the couple get back together. So why did the breakup happen? Was it plot fodder, or did they have to split?
When we were starting the first season of the show, we sort of knew that we were driving towards a moment at the end where Ted and Marshall's fortunes would reverse, and Ted was the single guy who was lonely, and Marshall had this fantastic engagement and future marriage ahead of him. And we wanted to see what it would be like if by the end of the season they swap places. So many couples have to go through that stress test of their relationship before they commit. And they have to see, like, would we work separately? Is there any chance that this isn't the right choice? And that's kind of the only way to really genuinely find out how miserable you'd be without each other. It always would have been the unanswered question for them of, like, what would it be like if we were apart? And because they hadn't been apart for 10 years when the show started. That's part of being in a relationship, and part of what makes relationships ridiculous and worthwhile is that you're growing together, but sometimes you do grow apart. You grow in different directions, and you figure out how do we keep supporting each other and loving each other even when circumstances are pulling us in different directions. It seems so obvious that she should go pursue that. I mean, she's an artist, and it's something that's important to her.
Being in a relationship can sometimes blind us from our reality. Especially in long-term relationships, we can forget that life existed before our partner, and life can exist without them too. Experiencing time apart without the safety net of knowing it's just a break can be a vital way to better understand who we are and what life is like outside of that relationship. Marcia and Lily are the perfect example of when a fragile relationship can only become stronger if it's first split in half. If they never broke up, Lily would have always wondered, what if? She could never unconditionally love Marshall if in the back of her mind she thought her dream could and should happen. They needed to break up, without any pretense that the breakup was just a break, so Lily could realize for herself if her dream was possible and if it was worth pursuing. So Marshall could realize if a life without his only relationship was worth living. By the end of the show, we see that Marshall becomes an environmental lawyer and Lily becomes an art consultant. They both are doing their dream job while still happily in love with one another, but that might have never been their trajectory if they didn't first break up. Every breakup has a reason. Sometimes that reason is to grow, learn, and change. Just like Marshall and Lily, a breakup doesn't always mean it's the end, but if you don't let it happen, you might never know what's out there or who you are outside of it. Want more Art Break? Subscribe and check out The Split at the link in the description.